place the band around your thighs.
What?
The nice thing is, it helps to prevent turning in. So evenly press into the feet and align hip, knees, and toes. And we'll do some squats here. Down, up. You can turn here. And after you do a few squats, we can hold that squat and then press the knees out. A little push up. Getting into the adductors. We can hold that squat. We can do some pulses. And then we can also do side lifts. Trying not to tip over. Trying to keep everything nice and tall and aligned. You can squat, lift, and then making sure to alternate sides. You can also take a rear lift. So you can activate into the glutes and the hamstrings here. Really supporting through the belly. You can squat, press back, squat, press back. Alternating sides, holding. You can also lift to the front. You can squat, lift. I love that.
Hi.
And you can just hold there. You want to increase your weight? Add a 4-year-old to it. I'm going to turn out, toes out, heels out, turning out from the hips, and then I'll plie here. Pressing down into my heels, and then squeezing up through the center of my body here. A little press, a little lift, and you can do that same thing. A little tap, come in, or maybe a lift, in, and same thing to the back. So you do that same lift to the front, but just changing the position of the hips. So when I go to the back, my big toe's down. You can add a plie. When I go to the front, my big toe reaches up. Maybe it's a lift, maybe it's a plie and a lift, maybe it's a plie, hold that plie. So I'm gonna give you lots of options. Kind of a little bar inspired move. Press, lift. You can step out and in, side to side, into that second plie. As you do that, keeping the back nice and straight. Coming wide, coming in. You can stay here, press heels in, press heels out. I'll do a whole bar routine. I don't have a child in my arms. Side to side. So you're gonna activate in the outer hips, outer glutes. Hold in that plie, hold there, and then kind of think of like a little butterfly, pressing back. So you're gonna get right into the abductors, outer hips, glutes, pushing out, a little push, 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 push. And then squeeze up here, plie, squeeze up, down, lift. Adding a little releve if you want. It's just gonna feel like a little bar. Then turning the toes out, heels in, and I'll find a little movement here. So you have some internal rotation into the hips. And then I'll find a lift here. Might be weird, a little awkward to try to find that movement in other directions. You can find that side lift, or just stepping out, in, out, in, and then having the toes turning in towards each other to go out and in, out and in. Then, can I put you down?
Nope.
Nope.
Look at you.
Okay, I gotta put you down for a moment.
Why? Because you gotta do that. Mommy, why are you taking it off?
You can place the band around something sturdy. Like I have this piano leg that is broken from when I was a kid. And put a leg in here to work some inner thighs. And it's that same thing, we're just gonna reach. We're gonna pull that leg across the body and try not to let it pull the leg back. It's gonna drop in. So it's gonna cross. So you get the inner thigh here. And then I'll step in the band. Turn around and switch sides. And that same thing, pull across. But you need to have whatever it is, it needs to be sturdy so it won't pull, because otherwise it'll go. Or you can do this on your back. Okay. Taking the band in your foot, holding the same arm, same leg, and then pull that band, pull the arm down, and then you're gonna reach and pull across and use your inner thighs here. You can hold here, but you wanna make sure you have the band in the same hand that's in the same leg, so you can pull across here. And then you can also work the same abductors to pull out if you switch hands. Then from here, I realize this is all leg work. Band in like around the thighs again, and then rolling up into bridge, rolling down. Can you come sit right here?
Yeah.
You want to try this with me?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll roll the hips up into bridge, and we'll roll down. And then coming up into that bridge, I realize I gotta scooch around.
Mommy, I wanna.
Up into that bridge, making sure not to pop the ribs up and pop the belly up. So connect ribs to hip. So you get nice length all the way across the torso. And then I'll drop down and up. By having the band here, it activates the outer hips through the abductors. And it helps keep alignment, hip and knees. You want to evenly press the feet to the floor through the toes. So your big toe, your little toe, your heel are evenly pressing in. So you aren't sinking into the arches. Sometimes we can end up pressing in. But for me, with the way the band is, it helps to align hip, knee, and toes. And then little lifts here, little press out. Little push with the knees, reach them out to the side. You can turn out, turn the toes out, heels out, heels in, hip, knees, and that same thing, rolling down. So it's a little wider bridge. I'm pressing up here. Trying to be really careful of the low back. You take the toes together, it's going to be really awkward to go that slight internal rotation. Taking knees over hips. And then I like to take the arms out wide, even make a W, just to open up across the chest here. And then coming side to side, kind of like shifting on one butt cheek coming in, and then shifting on the other butt cheek. So you're gonna feel this in the obliques. So this is just basically a tutorial of here's a few exercises that you can do, kind of some things to be mindful of. So it's not necessarily a workout, like just giving you a few ideas. If you have one of these, because you can't seem to find weights anywhere, but for some reason resistance band and these loop bands are readily available. And you can also extend the legs, come in, take it to the back, reach, come in, and don't forget to breathe. Coming up, inhale, exhale, inhale, inhale, exhale. So getting a little bit more work here. And then from there, I like to take this around my ankles. Well, more my calves, maybe not quite the ankles. Keep the knees over hips. I'm going to press out and in. You can add the arms reach and in. And that double leg extension. But it gets a little bit more tension in the legs as you press out.
You can do that.
Oh, you can do that. You can inhale here, exhale. Sorry, exhale, there we go. Inhale. Reaching out. But as you go out, keeping the low back anchored towards the floor so it doesn't lift, so the belly button isn't reaching up, but is pressing down towards the floor. You can hold here. You can even take the legs side to side here with the legs long. You just really want to make sure that your back is strong for all this.
Yeah.
And then I can take it down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, and just really hold her nice and small and smooth. You can take the toes together and do internal rotation movement here. So you get that movement into the hips as you press, as you lift. And then you can even turn the toes out. You can't actually bring the heels together like this, but you're gonna have a little space. So you have the external rotation here. And find that movement to lift and lower. You get this incredible ab work here. And then, I don't know, do like eight of everything maybe. 8 to 10 of everything.
Or
What?
you can do this.
You could do that. You could even take the band in your hand and just activate here. Slide in the shoulder blades back and down. Again, trying to arch to the back. And you can do this standing. You can do this down on the floor, sitting. But here, it helps in this alignment, so my hands aren't here. It helps kind of like pushing into them. Pull back and down. And then here, I'm gonna reach forward, slide the shoulder blades back down, and reach and pull the shoulders. So it's all that movement in the shoulders. The elbow is not bending. And maybe you have somebody doing this for you. And even here, just a little reach out with the arms. Oh, I could use these. You're right, I could use my weights. And I could do some bicep curls. Probably a little bit easier to do that. The loop bands maybe aren't, you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of movement here. You might be able to get a little lift behind you, some resistance. So instead of trying to do arm work with the loop band, I would just say use a regular resistance band if you can. You can have it, depending on the length of it, here under 1 foot. So you can do some bicep curls easily. You can tip. You can lift here, doing some upright rows. You can cross. Do some chest flies. And just, it depends on the length. This is just a kind of a scrap one, so it's a little shorter than what I usually have. Lifting the belly here. Sometimes taking it by the hand, or by the hands by the hips, pressing back. So you get some triceps, but also in that tricep work, get a little core activation here. So your abs are on, helps strengthen. You can lift to the side. Maybe 1 foot, just depends. You can turn the palms forward, you can turn the palms up and lift here. So just a few ideas for some strength work. There's more, and I would maybe be more focused if I didn't have a 4-year-old in here with me, but just some ideas of what to do with a band. And there's so many things out there on the internet, but I figured I would just kind of run through a few things